Morning, chefies. We've got something new and different today. I was thinking about doing a butternut squash breakfast bowl. So that's what we're gonna do. We are going to roast this butternut squash, and then we are going to put a little bit of honey on these strawberries because they're not that sweet, and let them marinate a little bit. But we will be topping the roasted butternut squash bowl with the strawberries, blackberries, a little bit of tangerine. These are pumpkin seeds and a banana. And then we will be seasoning the butternut squash with ground ginger, cloves, cinnamon. We're gonna puree it in the end with coconut milk, coconut butter, and when we roast them, we're gonna use some coconut oil. And we will also be using toasted coconut chips for the garnish. You know what I'm saying? So we're gonna clean this out, both halves. I just don't have them over here. We're gonna clean this out, and then we're gonna roast it on 400 for 40 to 60 minutes. So about to scoop out the seeds and put this baby in the oven. Roasted butternut squash bowl, a very healthy breakfast alternative. It could be lunch too, or a snack, or you could eat it whenever you want to. You can have it for dinner. Okay? As you can see, one of the butternut squashes, I cut off the top because I'm gonna cut this into chunks, and we're gonna put this as a garnish as well because it's a butternut squash bowl. Duh. Now I'm about to roast this on 400 for 40 to 60 minutes, just until it's tender. You do not want it smushy, just soft. All right? Butternut squash bowl coming up for my chefies. All right, so the butternut squash garnish is chopped up. I'm just gonna season it or spice it just a little bit. It's the allspice, cinnamon, a little bit of the ground ginger. I'm gonna only roast the garnish part for 35 minutes. 35 minutes on 400. Garnish. Garnish butternut squash for your bowl. Oh. All right, our garnish strawberries are sliced up. I'm gonna put about a teaspoon of raw organic honey. And then I'm gonna mix these around so these will be ready for the garnish. And I'm gonna slice these babies in half so we have a pretty garnish as well. And I'll probably add a little honey to these too, because it's not in season, so they're probably a little bitter. The blackberry garnish is sliced up. I'm going to use some of this tangerine zest to put in the blackberries with a teaspoon of raw honey and set it aside. Now I'm gonna pop these coconut chips for our garnish into the oven. It's still on 400 for about 5 minutes. Keep an eye on it so they don't burn, chefies. Here's the butternut squash fresh out of the oven. Sometimes butternut squash can be super mild and maybe a little bland, so I'm gonna add a tablespoon of brown sugar. You can add honey, manuka honey. You can add monk fruit sugar, whatever you want. You can taste it, and up to you. You don't have to use it, but I will be using it, and I'm just gonna put it on here now so it can melt into the butternut squash. All right, and I'll be back once I puree, adding in the coconut butter and the coconut milk. Yeah, and then I'll show y'all what it looked like once I put it in a bowl. As promised, the coffee has brewed, and I'm about to make the blended coffee. And again, this is the bulletproof blended coffee for their keto plan. And I already put a tablespoon of coconut milk in this coffee cup. Isn't this so cute? I got this from an artist on Instagram, inspired by Tyler. And she's just really amazing, and her portraits the art comes with yarn hair, so dope. And this cup was called Curl Friends. So dope. Of course, she's black. Support Black Girl Magic. Okay, and back to the coffee. We're gonna ignore the spoon. I put 2 teaspoons of the brain octane oil in here. And now I'm about to get my blend on. All right, my chefies, as you can see, I started to scoop the butternut squash out, and I'm going to be putting it in the food processor here. And I will be adding a little bit of this coconut butter. I forgot to show y'all, I'm going to be putting a little bit of vanilla in there, and I'm taking the scraps from the tangerine that I'm going to be using for the garnish, and I'm going to squeeze the juice into the food processor. And I decided to use these smaller shredded coconut just for color purposes. After the larger chips are toasted, I just think it's too much of the same color. So I'll use this for natural cereal later in the week. Okay, now back to the butternut squash bowl. And I love coconut butter, it's bomb. Let me not forget to add the coconut milk. Chefies, this is what the butternut squash looks like whipped up. And if you find that it's not to the texture of your liking, you can add extra coconut milk. Just start out with 1/4 of a cup like it says on the recipe. You could get all the way up to 1/2 of a cup or 3/4 of a cup. And then we are going to assemble this beautiful breakfast butternut squash bowl. Hey chefies, so now I'm about to put this bomb butternut squash breakfast bowl together. So we will start out by just putting a tablespoon. You want stuff to look pretty and build balance to develop the flavor. I put the sliced fruit inside of the freezer while I was making everything else for the bowl so that it would give it a very cool and crisp texture. I decided I wanted to start out with the strawberries for the color red. Add a little bit of color to the bowl. And y'all remember I put a little bit of honey on these to macerate them and give them added sweetness since these really are not in season. And then we will go with the tangerines. And now the banana.
The what?
Banana. Wait, let's go with the smaller pieces. I use the bigger pieces on a bigger bowl. Let me see. And then I put, remember we put a little bit of the tangerine zest in with these sliced blackberries. And you can set up the bowl any way that you would like. That's where the fun comes in, right? And really, if it's not baking, you can alter recipes and adjust them to your own flavor and your own, you know, what you like. Recipes are pretty much a guideline. Okay, so we've got our blackberries. Okay, I'm gonna rinse my hand. Okay, and now we'll add the shredded coconut. And finally, the pumpkin seeds. And I don't really like them right here, so I'm gonna move them. And I think I'll do a drizzle of honey just because. So we'll be right back with the drizz. How could I forget, chefies? We needed to add our butternut squash. And this is important because it adds the texture and it's a butternut squash bowl. So you should always feature what the product is. in your garnish somehow. And I'll add a little bit more pumpkin seeds to the top just to balance out the color. And then I have this strawberry hibiscus honey from the Spice Suite. I keep telling y'all about the Spice Suite, Washington, D.C., owned by Angel. So we'll just drizzle this on top of the bowl. And that'll be it. Ooh. Ish, are you ready to try this butternut squash bowl?
Yes.
Have you ever had butternut squash for breakfast?
Nope.
No?
Never.
All right, bet. Let's get into it. Ooh, so pretty. So pretty.
I said, the flavors.
Ooh, it looks fire.
It tastes fire.
Tastes fire. You know I just made this up.
Oh yeah.
Like every day.
Every day.
Every day is a new day of Chef Jourdan ChaTaun's creations. All right, I'm gonna let you enjoy your breakfast since I made you wait so long.
Thank you.
You're
My
welcome.
tummy appreciates you.
You're welcome. Ish and I are doing progress pictures because we started working out a year ago, and these are the bottoms that I've been taking pictures in.
Look at that progress.
Like,
They don't fit.
they don't fit. I gotta get new ones. I'm so small. I'm so tiny. So I started out at like 197, and I'm down to 157. 157
Game.
in a year.
Game.
So yeah, so that's my check-in, and I will show you guys what I look like when we started the roly-poly, and then where we at right now. Until we get the tripod situated, we trying to get these angles together, and she's about to start out, and that's the Bosu ball.
Bosu ball. B-O-S-U. Bosu ball.
Okay, teacher.
Someone might put B-O-S-O. Then you're not gonna find it.
Okay, let's get into it. Let's get. She's spicy today. She had that butternut squash bowl, and she's really feeling herself. You know what I'm saying?
This is a Bosu ball plank press. Yes, plank press.
Say that 5 times.
I can't.
Say that 5 times.
I can't.
5 times. I'll put
it.
it Okay.
Alright, so you start off in a plank position, you bring your feet down, you pick up your Bosu ball, you press it overhead. Bring it back down, feet back up on the box plank, bring it back in, press at the top. Bam, just like that. Shoulders and core and balance.
So that's
Legs.
oh. Okay.
Yeah, shoulders, core, and balance.
Great.
Out. Come on. Oh, I thought you. Girl, come on. We here. We here now.
We's here now.
We here now.
We's here now.
There you go.
So you said 10?
Yes, ma'am. 10.
10 wins.
My favorite. That's my favorite line to say when I say 10.
That's my
10.
favorite. I can't.
We obviously have the giggles today.
Oh God. Okay. I think that was 4.
Come on.
All right. We can stop now.
Out. Come on. Oh, I thought you. Girl, come on. We here. We here now.
We's here now.
We here now.
We's here now.
There you go.
So you said 10?
Yes, ma'am. 10.
10 wins.
My favorite. That's my favorite line to say when I say 10.
That's my
10.
favorite. I can't.
We obviously have the giggles today.
Oh God. Okay. I think that was 4.
Come on.
All right. We can stop now.
There we go.
Yo, these resistance bands be hella hard. They look easy.
Until you get in, you're like, oh my God, what is
Oh my
this?
God. I'm like on 5. Ooh. breathing.
Very important to breathe, guys.
Okay, done. I just be trying to figure out these little dances, though.
I'm just trying to gear myself up, you know?
Alright,
So we are doing assisted pistol squats. So the band is here to help us move up and down as we go into our pistol squats. So we have one leg out.
it's helping us move up and down as for support.
Yep.
You're a little muffled.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Can I get a little louder?
Yep. So you have your leg out, one leg out, you go down, and you stand up. The resistance helps you come back up.
Oh, so you got me on like Cirque du Soleil.
Yes.
Cirque du Soleil.
Acrobatics.
And what is this working out?
This is a leg exercise. So it works out your quads predominantly.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
It looked like more than legs.
No, it's legs. Just legs.
All right. Yeah, this is really some Cirque du Soleil, man. This is hard. I always be looking at the bands and really underestimate them.
I don't know why.
They be looking weak, bro.
But you're doing most of the work though, because this is not a heavy resisted band. So you're doing most of the work. Yeah. Down. Bring your arms in closer.
Huh?
Bring your arms in closer. Yeah, there you go. Down. Yes. There you go.
Oh, that's it. Always gotta be up in the mix. What's up, Josh?
What's happening, Jourdan?
Mr. Ziti. Are you my financial advisor?
Well, you know, we manage some of your business. You know how we do.
You are my financial advisor. That's what I pay you for. You don't do that for free.
Got a dog here.
You
This
do.
dog?
Chalky, why you gotta harass people? Well, you're not a paying client, so he doesn't have to be locked in the room. So, but is this your first time trying my food, or did you try my food years ago in New York?
Oh, I definitely have tasted some of your food before, but I think this is the first time you actually really cooked for me.
Oh, for you.
Yeah.
Okay, so have you ever had a butternut squash bowl?
I mean, nothing that looked as beautiful as this. I love butternut squash, and I'm really excited about this. Actually.
What are you, Italian and Jewish?
I'm African, North African.
North African? Josh, cut the shit.
Yeah, that's how we do. We're a nomadic tribe called the Bedouin tribe.
Bedouin tribe.
Yeah.
Let me find out. Are you serious?
Check it.
Wow. Okay, let's see. Okay, let's try it. Let me see what you think.
Chalky. Am I trying this?
Yes, you're gonna eat it.
Is there a way to eat it? Do I have to start
No,
somewhere? This is like, are you guys seeing what this is? This is like art.
It's like art.
This is like art, so I'm like trying to understand. If
No,
I'm
you're supposed to
taking
eat it and enjoy
All right,
it.
I'm about to go in here.
Go in.
I'm going in. I got a little pumpkin, a little strawberry.
No, it's butternut squash.
No, these seeds. Aren't
Oh,
these
the pumpkin seeds.
Right?
Oh.
Don't sleep.
Oh. Mikey, he likes it. He likes it, Mikey. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
It's a winner? Yeah.
Very Ayurvedic.
Or what is that? Please explain.
So Ayurveda is...
It sounds Jewish.
No, it's actually Indian.
Oh, God. Okay.
And
Mr. World Traveler.
and-
He's always out the country.
And it's really about balance. And so what...
Kind of like umami.
Maybe so, but what's really great about this is the balance between like the sweet and savory. And the flavors are kind of distinct. So it's really beautiful.
Nice.
Very good.
Thank you. Ooh, great reviews.
Can I keep eating?
Yeah. Chefies, I just wanted to check back in with you guys. I'm not giving you the recipe. I'm just giving you an idea. These are leftover pieces of the lamb meat that I did not eat last night, and I saved the bone and made a lamb stock. I just used new onions, peppers, carrots, and celery, and herbs and just put water in it and boiled it down, and now I have a bomb stock. Now I'm just gonna make a lamb soup for the day and add a splash of coconut milk to add creaminess. This is oregano, mushrooms, red onion, Brussels sprouts, the lamb, and the lamb stock, and I'll probably add just a little bit of Parmesan cheese. So I've sauteed the Brussels sprouts, onions, and mushrooms. Now I'm just adding in the lamb with the garlic. I'll be adding the oregano at the very last minute. Now I'm gonna add the sauce. So good. You can always use your leftovers to make something nice, quick, and healthy for your lunch the next day. You just let this simmer for 5 minutes. So you got a bomb lunch for probably 10 to 15 minutes and it's done. Ooh, chef life. Okay, chefy, so the soup has been simmering for 5 minutes. I'm now gonna add a little splash of coconut milk and let this simmer for 3 minutes and then plate the soup. Added a little bit of coconut milk to the soup. I'll let it simmer for 3 minutes and then plate. Okay, my cheffies, we are ready to plate. I'm just gonna go a spoonful at a time right here into my prepared bowl. Y'all get the point. I will come back once it's plated. Cheffies, here is the lamb soup. And I told you I was going to garnish it with a little bit of cheese, Parmesan Romano, and this is oregano. Ooh. Chef life. You said what?
Oh, I said you gotta get the after shot.
You
Killed
cleaned
it.
that. You murked it.
Murked.
It's dead.
Beautiful.
Gone.
Mm.
You got your leg kicked up.
Mm.
Oh,
Feeling it.
feeling it.
Good.
All right. Your second course
Man, am I looking forward to this.
gave you a little bit of a quick lamb soup with an arugula salad.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Looking
And I'm
good.
gonna join you. And now we're gonna do a little money talk.
Sounds good to me.
All right. So, what were you asking me about?
Oh, no, I was saying that the salad dressing was great. It looked very fresh and homemade. Very tasty, flavorful.
Oh man, yeah,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
definitely gourmet.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely gourmet.
Very good.
It's a red wine vinaigrette with a little bit of blood orange zest and dill and a garlic infused olive oil.
Very
A little bit of salt
flavorful.
and pepper and oregano, raw honey. Just a little work with the wrist. So
Got it.
you've been working with me since the failure of my last juice bar location. And I went into that blindly and super fast, and I wrote a check that my ass, I could cash it, but I wish I wouldn't have. So it ended up being a bad real estate deal. And instead of making time for my money, I decided that I'm going to pay the rent up front for a year versus having to pay monthly. I don't know why this made sense in my head, but it turned out being very stupid. I started going through the phases of getting my licensing and permitting, and we started finding out that certain things with the property weren't even legal. They weren't up to code. But I signed the lease as is, and then the real estate agent that I had disappeared. Come to find out, she wasn't licensed. So these are all things that I ended up learning. But I was able to hire an architect and engineer. I learned what mechanical engineering and plumbing paperwork looks like. I was hiring people, And, you know, ultimately, once I was figuring out, I think we got up to what, 50 grand in additional cost if we would have got everything up to coding. There was like multiple HVACs that were not told to us that were not up to code. HVACs can start out at 150 grand. So that's definitely not a cost that I'm going to incur on property that isn't mine that I own. So I decided that we should dissolve the contract, and I was thinking that I could have at least got, we thought we could have at least got 20 grand back. I gave them a $36,000 check up front, like an idiot. And that's okay because, you know, the upside is I had the money to do it. The downside is I lost it, but, you know, sometimes you have to lose to learn. And he kept telling me not to do it, and I did it anyway. So, you know, now we're about to have a meeting about some merchandise that I'm going to be dropping soon. And so we're going to look over the paintings and go over the scope of those ideas. And we're talking about what we're doing with the YouTube channel. And we're talking about collecting the check, right? Should be good money. I mean,
Work hard.
That's it.
Work hard.
Outwork everyone.
Hard. You got to have a plan. You got to execute. So executing on that plan is number 4.
Okay, and 5.
5?
Something to walk with.
Enjoy it. Have fun with it. Have passion about it, and go at it 100%.
Go at it 110%, like your life depended on it, because your livelihood really does, though. So
you're right.
You're right. I know I'm right. So, well, that concludes our little financial tidbits of advice and my little story of, you know, not failure, but, you know, a lesson, a loss, and a lesson.
An expensive lesson.
An expensive lesson, but you know what?
Could have been more expensive.
It could have been, yeah, because if I would have went through with the deal, we would have been in a shitty property, and I would have bled out. And you know what? Everything happened how it should have, because I needed that time to, you know, focus on my self-love and my self-worth, which has been a journey.
Priceless.
And, you know, when you find yourself understanding your value and your power, other things start opening up. So I'm about to get into this soup because I haven't ate all day, and I think it's almost 4 o'clock. I haven't ate all day, and I worked out. So thanks, my chefies. I'll holla at y'all on another day. Ow.